Okay. What is going on here? What is going on here? I think it's working now. Okay. Hopefully it stays now. That's so annoying. That is so annoying. Oh well, I'll clip the beginning out. I'll clip the beginning out after the live stream. That's just super annoying that happened. Anyway, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the 87th live chat. That is insanity. There's a lot to talk about. It's the Wednesday after UFC 282. So, of course, we're going to talk about the Jan Blachowicz Magomed Ankalaev draw. We're going to talk about the Paddy Pimblett, Jarrett Gordon, and the atrocity that was the scorecards, the Paddy Pimblett brutal robbery. And what's been going on since then? I've been seeing a lot of stuff going on with MMA media. I've been seeing this stuff on Twitter. I've been seeing it on YouTube. And it's actually really disturbed me. If you're part of the members Discord, you already know what I'm talking about. Well, we're going to talk about that in depth today because that's really been pissing me off. And we're also going to talk about UFC 283, Glover Teixeira versus Jamahal Hill, undisputed light heavyweight title. And we're also going to talk about whatever else you guys want to talk about. We'll probably talk about Conor McGregor being out of the lightweight rankings, which about damn time. I mean, how the hell was he in the rankings for that long? That is what's disturbing to me. He's officially been removed from the top 15. But there's plenty to talk about. But I do definitely want to get on about that Paddy Pimblett, Jarrett Gordon. I mean, I don't. There's not even a word in my vocabulary for how terrible that decision was. I mean, unbelievable. But let's first get to the chat. Thank you guys for joining me. Do me a favor if you haven't already, like the stream. I greatly appreciate it. I do one of these streams every single Wednesday, but I try to stream a couple times a week. I streamed on Monday. So make sure you like the stream. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, go subscribe to the channel. I know the first 2 minutes had no audio, which is super infuriating. And now I'm like annoyed that what if the audio cut off again, but it's still good. If you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you guys have any questions and you're watching this after the fact, just put it down in the comments. And if I don't make a video between now and next week, we'll talk about it next stream. Okay. What's going on, Fight Life? What's up, Blaze? What's up, Prize? What's up, Andrew? What's up, Elmo? Are the rumors true about Francis being a free agent? Francis will officially be a free agent at the end of January. So I don't know what the rumors you're talking about in particular. But in January, whatever the 1-year anniversary date of the Ngannou versus Cyril Gane fight is, he will be a free agent, but he'll still have a 3-month exclusive negotiating clause with the UFC. So I don't know what rumors in particular you're talking about, but there you go. There's the facts. With all the crazy decisions recently, I'm surprised not one judge even gave a round for Luke Rockhold when he faced Costa. I personally had it 29-28 Rockhold. That was a closer fight than Paddy Pimblett, Jarrett Gordon. That's for damn sure. That fight was weird because it was like both guys landing big shots. Weird, like both guys exhausted, both guys completely gassed. I thought had it gone either way, it wouldn't have flat out been a robbery, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, there's much closer fights that don't get a bad decision. And, you know, we're going to talk about it in depth here in a minute, but I just want to get to a few questions. I mean, people keep calling it a close fight. It was competitive. I wouldn't necessarily call it close. So, Garbrandt versus Arce is very interesting. I know. Why couldn't the Ronnie Yaya fight come to fruition? The UFC signed it 3 times. Julio Arce, for those of you who don't know, is fighting Cody Garbrandt. I don't remember the date. But there's a chance Cody Garbrandt could get chinned by Julio Arce. I think it's a winnable matchup for Cody. I think Cody's the better fighter. But That chin is a massive liability. That chin is a massive, massive, massive liability. Who would win right now, Marlon Moraes or Cody Garbrandt? I think they'd both get chinned simultaneously. I can't imagine a world where both of them don't get chinned. I mean, they have horrible chins. How do you see a fight between Paddy and Tony Ferguson playing out? I mean, even the Tony Ferguson we saw at 279, who was completely a dead body, a corpse of his former self, I still think he would brutally destroy Paddy Pimblett. That's how low I am on Paddy Pimblett. I was already pretty low. I thought he would be able to bully Jarrett Gordon just because of the size. After watching that fight against Jarrett Gordon, there's very few people I wouldn't pick to beat Paddy Pimblett, And I did a whole 21 minute video on it. It's on the channel if you want to check it out. But we're talking unranked guys. Guram Kutateladze would destroy him badly. Terrence McKinney would destroy him badly. Drew Dober would destroy him badly. I think Bobby Green destroys him badly. Tony Ferguson's at a point where I'm worried because his wrestling is so horrific even when he was in his prime. But I just can't imagine a world where Paddy Pimblett feasts on the carcass of Tony Ferguson. I think Tony Ferguson beats him. So after 3 months is over, then he's officially free from the UFC? No. After that, I think it's 6 months to a year of exclusive rights to match. So that means if Ngannou signs another deal, my nose is itching like crazy. If Ngannou signs another deal, he has to bring it back, show the UFC, and then the UFC can then match that deal and essentially retain him. So there you go. It's tough. I mean, these contracts are basically holding fighters hostages at this point. It's not, it's not easy to get out of your UFC contract. Dana always says, if you don't want to be here, we don't want you. That's not the case, especially with guys like Francis Ngannou. He wants you there, but under his price. If you try your damnedest to get out of his, hostage holding contract, they will, they will do whatever they can. They will do whatever they can to inconvenience you and devalue you and anything they can do to piss you off as well. Did you know apparently one of the judges that Paddy Gordon fight was John McCarthy's son? Yes, I did see that. Doesn't surprise me. Big John McCarthy's, not the brightest. I know apparently he said that, his son got it wrong, but who knows? He probably, a bunch of blanket statements and excuses will be my guess. I mean, you have to literally be blind. Listen to me right now. And I don't care if this is somebody who's followed the channel for 12 months or 2 years or whatever, it's not even been around for 2 years, but if you scored the first round for Paddy Pimblett at UFC 282, you need to seek a mental evaluation. If you scored the first round for Paddy Pimblett, it is absolutely indefensible. Indefensible. And we're going to talk about that third round too, because that third round keeps getting brought up and it's really grinding my gears. But we'll get to that in a second. I want to answer some questions before we really dive deep into the Paddy Pimblett decision, because I'm probably going to go off for like 20 minutes on that one. So we'll save that for now, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. Cody has taken a good amount of time off, so we'll see if that helps. Plus, he is coming back to 35. So hopefully that helps as well. Also, one of the judges that in the fight is under investigation for a different fight, though, and a different commission, I believe. Yeah, it's the Connecticut Commission. It's for Bellator 289. Rafian Stotts versus Danny Sabatello. Sabatello clearly did not win every round, and they scored every round for him. Doug Crosby. Doug Crosby's an absolute idiot. Apparently, he's trying to score fights basically to earn favor with the promotions. Apparently, and I learned this from the Anik and Florian podcast, actually. Apparently, he goes around visiting gyms and hanging out with some of these fighters and becoming friends with some of these fighters, which I think is particularly egregious. I really do believe, guys, and I'm not one of these people who's constantly talking about different conspiracies when it comes to UFC and UFC judging. There's more to this, guys. There is more going on behind the scenes and more discrepancies than we could ever imagine. I mean, there's some shady stuff going on with these judges, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But good for the Connecticut, whatever, some tribe commission, whatever it is, for investigating, because there needs to be an investigation. Unfortunately, nothing, with Nevada is ever going to come of it. All 3 judges scored it for Paddy. I think, honestly, what needs to happen, and I found this out today, and I really think I'm going to start doing it, or finding a time to do it, and probably get you guys to do it anyway. There is space for public comment at these athletic commission hearings, okay? I did not know this until today. Today at the Nevada State Athletic Commission hearing, there was only one public comment. I don't know what it was. I did not see it. You can call in and speak via phone. You can go there in person. I'm going to, every time we get one of these bad decisions, what happens is everyone gets pissed. They tweet out something and they forget about it. And then everyone starts to whitewash it down the drain in the next couple of days. Say, well, if you look at this a certain way, and you look at that a certain way, maybe just this or that. Or if you pause this here and you look at this contact there, and this was a takedown, this wasn't a takedown, and everyone starts justifying it and blaming the UFC. And UFC is partial to blame because they should be doing something about this. But the commission is the main factor in play to blame. And we need to blow up their phone lines. They need to be getting hundreds of calls. And honestly, what I'm going to do in the future, I'm going to find a way to find these hearings. I'm going to post their phone number when we get one of these bad decisions. And I'm going to have everyone that listens to this channel, that cares about this channel, we're all going to be calling it. They're going to have 200 comments on, 500 comments, however big the channel may get, 1,000 comments, waiting on the phone lines to tell them, you know what? Doug Crosby and every judge, Ron McCarthy, need to be benched. These were piss poor decisions, and we can't accept it anymore. So the commission needs to be held accountable for the judges that they put on display. Because it's ruining the sport. It's genuinely ruining the sport. In the grand scheme of things, Paddy Pimblett, Jared Gordon doesn't really matter all that much. But it's truly ruining the sport. We need to start blowing up their phone lines. We need to start holding them accountable. We need them to be pissed off that they can't, do anything. They got to wait. They got to spend 4 hours on their commission hearing just answering phones. There needs to be some form of punishment towards the athletic commission for continuing to put out underperforming judges and to put out less than acceptable scorecards. There needs to be accountability. There has to be. And I swear, next time I get a chance, I'm calling up the Nevada State Athletic Commission. Next time they have some public hearing or some shit, I'm calling them up, and they're going to hear from me. I'll tell you that much right now. And I hope some of you guys do it with me. I'm going to post it on YouTube. I'm going to post it on the community tab next time it happens. I don't know when that'll be, but next time there's an egregious judging scorecard, I am finding out when the Nevada State Athletic Commission meets again, and I'm calling them up, and I am going off. And I hope, a few of you guys do it as well. It'll be hilarious, but it'll also be something that's necessary. I can't sit by for a sport that I love and see these assholes ruin it and then hear nothing about it. I'm about to start protesting outside their houses if I could get there and I had the time. I'm outside holding up a sign at Doug Crosby's house. You're a fraud. You're a piece of shit. You need to be fired. Fire Doug Crosby. He doesn't need to be there. I'm never in life usually advocating for someone to lose their job. Doug Crosby needs to find a new career. Something ain't right. Okay. And we're going to get to that more in a minute. Okay. Where was I at? Why doesn't the UFC try to promote Ian Gary instead of Paddy? Ian Gary is 10 times better. They're promoting Gary as well. Molly McCann is better than Paddy. I think they're about the same, And Molly McCann's an absolute bum too. I told you guys that in my Aaron Blanchfield prediction. And some people told me I was crazy. But then look what happened to her. She got murked. How would a fight between Gamrot and Fiziev play out? That'd be a very interesting matchup. I think Fiziev probably chins him. But Gamrot may be able to take him down and control him and win a decision. Predictions for Walker Craig, either Craig by submission or Walker by brutal KO. What does Ngannou want on his contract? It's hard to say. Better pay, and he wants a boxing exemption, but I don't know if he's going to get that. Thoughts on the Leech getting back into the rankings at number 15? He probably deserves to be there. Did you see Crosby is under invest? Yes, we did. I did see that. We just talked about that. It's disturbing scorecard. I told you guys that on Friday. I live streamed that. Disgusting. Big John has a small brain. Lamal, mental evaluation, 30-27. By the way, guys, let me actually tell you guys to go do something real quick. I need you guys to do me a favor because I really want this guy to see this. Kenny Florian had an indefensible take on his podcast. I usually don't watch stuff like this, but I've seen people talking about it on Twitter. I went and checked it out. I want you to guys go to this video, find my comment, and like it, okay? I commented talking shit to Kenny Florian and told him that he's basically an idiot. It was all logical. I commented on the video saying, Kenny must have not even watched the Paddy Pimblett versus Jerry Gordon fight. Keep in mind, Kenny Florian says I scored it for Paddy Pimblett. Delusional. He's probably just plagiarizing some Paddy fanboy or UFC shill who's insisting he won the fight. This fight was not close and the rounds were clear as day. The reason I said that is because Kenny Florian got fired from the UFC for plagiarizing articles that he found online in regards to his MMA analysis. So I want you guys go to this video, find my comment, and like it. You should be able to find it pretty easily. It's already got like 10 likes or so. But go to that video, find my comment, like it, comment on it, whatever you want to do. It's from 3 hours ago. You can sort by newest. There's probably not a whole lot of comments. Let me see. Yeah, if you sort by newest, it's pretty easy to find. They don't have a lot of comments on the video. So do me a favor, go find that comment on the Florian Anik podcast and like it. I would greatly appreciate it. Comment on it. Give me your thoughts on it. But Kenny Florian's absolutely delusional. And when I saw that shit on Twitter, I had to go after it. Because indefensible. And shout out to Ray Longo. Ray Longo was on there. I listened to about 20 minutes of it. Ray Longo essentially called him delusional. He's like, look, if you can't watch that fight and score it accurately, there's a bigger problem here. You have an issue. So, yeah, go to that, find my comment, and like it. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. If you guys have not liked this stream as well, like this stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, where are we at? Mental evaluation. You think Terrence McKinney smokes Paddy? Dude, Terrence McKinney may end the MMA career of Paddy Pimblett. That's how bad it may be. What's up, Joey? What's up, Niles? The more that comes out lately, the whole thing just feels rigged. I agree. Honestly, it's simply about time where we did something about it, meaning we actually investigate these terrible decisions. There needs to be investigations. There needs to be accountability. There needs to be an explanation. Because if you watch that fight and you deem Paddy Pimblett winning round one, or Paddy Pimblett winning at all, but especially winning round one, you need to be banished from the sport. Banished. And again, as soon as I catch up on comments, I'm going to really get into it deep because there's a lot of things that I keep wanting to get into, but I want to answer some questions first. Paddy should have been thrown to the wolves against a fighter. He has a 1% chance of beating maybe Ilya Topuria. Dude, the UFC is never going to let him fight Ilya. Is it possible for the Athletic Commission to overturn the Paddy Gordon decision? No, they will never will. Joe, you can calm down now. I'm here. No. What really needs to happen if you want judging to be improved is educated individuals need to sign up to be a judge. It's not a tough process at all. Dude, who knows who they're willing to let be a judge? So, how would Alex Pereira versus Romero go now? I don't know. Romero refuses to wrestle, so Pereira probably chins him. And right now, yeah, Pereira. I'd pick Pereira. What's the worst decision, Yan O'Malley or Pimblett Gordon? I think they're pretty close to being equally as bad, but I would say Pimblett Gordon was more clear. But Jan O'Malley was egregious as hell. It was a straight-up robbery. Amazing how people are still angry about Paddy Gordon. Usually bad decisions forget Sunday morning, but one time too many. Yeah, and it was so bad. It was the worst. Damn straight, Paddy Pimblett Gordon, 100%. I want to be an MMA judge, a few $1,000 for writing numbers on a paper over a fight I'm not watching. That is true. Hi, I'm up and coming MMA legend from UK. How are you up and coming MMA legend? From London, UK, and I've got a mouth like a foghorn, like McGregor was to walk with my arms floating. Okay. Um, wow, I didn't. Okay, how did I jump down that far? I love the idea of getting some actual action going rather than just online complaining. Exactly. We need Bobby Green, Michael Johnson. Makes sense. Niles like the comment. Did anybody else go like the comment? I wish you guys would. So appreciate it if you did. Um, how do you see a fight between Jorge Masvidal and RDA playing out? I think Jorge Masvidal gets out grappled. Well, I didn't know that's why he was fired. Ironic, he has a podcast with Anik. Yeah, plagiarism. Kenny Florian's plagiarizing. I couldn't find your comment. You should sort by newest, and it should be pretty easy to find. If you sort by newest, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 9 comments down if you sort by newest. Yeah, it's 9 comments down if you sort by newest. For me, when it's by top comments, it shows my comment first for some reason, even though it's not the top comment. I guess just because it's my comment, it shows it to me. So there you go. If you want to go find it. RDA gets out grappled by Jorge. Terrence first Paddy would be first murder and octagon agreed. Can you make a video on Gilbert Burns and Jorge Masvidal situation? I can't. I just don't got the time to talk about that dumb shit. Jorge Masvidal just turning down fights left and right. Dude doesn't want to fight anyone. Thoughts on Topuria versus Holloway matchup? I don't think that makes a lot of sense right now, but that'd be fun. I want to see Topuria versus Allen. Allen or Ortega. How much do judges make? I'm not sure. Paddy will get another unranked bum at UFC London, most likely. I'm not so mad about the Paddy decision, but the fact how he was going on like saying fight of the night and it was close. It wasn't close. Yeah. Delusional. Make between 500 and 3,000 per fight they judge. There you go. I would have been better for Paddy's reputation to lose that decision. Yeah, probably. It's not tough to be a judge. I don't know if that's true or not. You've never applied to be a judge, so you don't know how tough the process is. I know you can just apply, but we don't know who's actually getting approved. Have you ever been a judge? But I'll take your word for it. You heard the UFC. That's fake news. That is fake news. Okay, let's get into the Paddy Pimblett, Jarrett Gordon decision because this shit's really been pissing me off. I got a lot to say about it. Like the stream. Subscribe to the channel. Okay. Paddy Pimblett got 30-27. Okay. Jarrett Gordon won every single round. I have an entire video going over it round by round. He clearly won. Okay. The second round was competitive. The third round, not a lot happened. But I still believe that Jarrett Gordon won those rounds. The third round, Kenny Florian said this along with a lot of other people are saying this. Well, Jarrett Gordon, you can't score a round for him when all he did was hold him against the fence. This will always be my answer to that statement. Whether it be, oh, you can't win a round just holding the guy on the ground. You can't win a round being held up against the fence. So for those of you saying, oh, well, Gordon can't win the round just holding him against the fence. Paddy can't win the round being held against the fence. You have to score it for someone. And whoever's in the more dominant position, which was Jarrett Gordon, does. The striking was even. Gordon was knee into the thighs. I think there was even some foot stomps. There was some little bit of dirty boxing in the third round. Paddy Pimblett landed a couple of strikes at the end. Jarrett Gordon clearly won. When you have 4 minutes of control time, 3.5, 4 minutes of control time, you clearly won the round. For some reason, people are going back and rewatching this fight, and they're trying to find a way to justify it. They're like judge apologists. They're trying to justify it for the judges. And it's literally irking me to no end. They're like, well, the second round was pretty close, and the third round, not a whole lot happened, so you could give it to Paddy, and in the first round, it was close. First off, the first round was a blowout, okay? I'm not saying it was a 10-8. But Jared Gordon clearly won that round. Second off, there can be competitive fights that are not close, okay? Just because it's competitive does not mean it's close. I don't believe that fight was close, okay? I believe Jared Gordon was a clear winner. Even if it was close, because maybe you could say, okay, you can make an argument for the second round, okay? Just because it's close doesn't mean there's not a clear winner. That's what I think a lot of people are forgetting about. Let me say it again. Just because it's close doesn't mean there isn't a clear winner. If a football team goes out and wins by 1 point, that's pretty close. Well, guess what? That team that won by 1 point, that doesn't mean they didn't still clearly win. If you look at the numbers this way and you subtract this and do that, maybe the other team should be declared the winner. No, that's not how it works. Jared Gordon clearly landed the better shots in the first round and had a takedown and had some control time. Unequivocally indefensible not to give Jared Gordon the first round. If you don't score for Jared Gordon, you're an idiot. You're a straight up idiot. You're an imbecile. You don't deserve to watch MMA. Indefensible. Second round, kind of close. I think the problem people have here is they're not paying attention to do the shots land or not. Okay? Because I heard Kenny Florian say, yeah, I gave the second and third round to Paddy Pimblett. And a lot of people were saying this, well, he threw some good shots and some combinations and this and that. A lot of those shots in the second round by Paddy Pimblett landed on the arms of Jared Gordon. Meanwhile, Jared Gordon was smacking him up with shots, landing clean on the chin. I just cannot even fathom. I can't stomach how somebody's going to say that goes to Paddy Pimblett. And what's going on now, and I know I kind of did it I went back and rewatched and just seen if my opinion would change, but everyone is trying to find a way to comb over it frame by frame and manipulate it in some fashion where, you know what? Oh, well, maybe it wasn't that bad of a, decision. Maybe the judges, you could give round 2 and round 3 to Paddy. And it's so egregious and it's so annoying because this is systematically ruining the sport. If we can't have confidence in judges' decisions, watching the sport is now pointless. And I understand not every fight goes to a decision. And thank God, thank to the MMA gods that UFC 282 only had 2 decisions because those judges were horrific. And also, why are so many people complaining about the draw in the main event rather than the Paddy Pimblett scorecards? Because the main event draw is justifiable. Okay? And all 3 judges in that fight had different scorecards. You had one judge that had it for Magomed, you had one judge that had it for Jan, and then you had one judge that had a draw. So it ended up being a split draw, essentially is what it was. The first 3 rounds could arguably go to Jan Blachowicz. The last 2 rounds could go to Magomed Ankalaev. And round 5 could be a 10-8, therefore making it a draw. Okay? But you could also do round 1, round 4, and round 5 for Magomed Ankalaev. So to me, the judge's decision in that fight wasn't bad. But the fact that I believe 2 judges gave Paddy Pimblett round 1, if anybody rewatches round 1 and they say, you know what, I think Paddy had it, or well, it was close, death penalty. Death penalty. Throw him in the wood chipper. Because that is outright delusion. And that is fanboy, that is UFC shill. And I saw a clip and I shared this on Twitter because I thought it was particularly funny. You notice the commentary team didn't say too much on the broadcast about how it was a robbery. They said, oh, well, it was a close fight and this and that. But they complained endlessly. Rogan complained endlessly about Magomed Ankalaev. It's because there's a silent rule there from the UFC. The UFC doesn't want them shitting on the up-and-comers. There's an unwritten rule there. They know. Joe Rogan knows. John Anik knows. And John Anik's trying to beat around the bush and toe the company line. He doesn't want to say anything that's going to get him in trouble. He knows damn well Paddy Pimblett lost that fight. Okay? He knows damn well that he lost that fight. And there's a clip out there that I thought was particularly hilarious. From Chris Weidman. He was on the desk with Lauren Sanko, Daniel Cormier, and two other guys who I don't know who they are, but they've been around. They're on the weigh-in shows. And Chris Weidman says, and he interrupts everyone. He says, basically, does anyone here think Paddy Pimblett has the ability to be a future champion? I'm going to start with you, Lauren. And the host interjects and says, well, we'll talk about that fight in a little bit. And Weidman's like, okay, well, you just bailed everyone out. And DC said, I'm not answering that. They all know, listen, they all know, and I'll say this right now, because I'm sure of it, and I've been sure of this before the Jarrett Gordon fight. Paddy Pimblett is a very, very bottom of the barrel, low skill set UFC fighter. He is barely UFC skill level. Barely. And that's only because the barrier of entry in the UFC went from here to down here. 4 years ago, Paddy Pimblett wouldn't even sniff the UFC debut. Okay? Paddy Pimblett is garbage. Okay? He will never, ever, ever be a title contender unless the UFC does some type of rankings gymnastics to get him into a title fight. He will never contend for a title. You look at the UFC rankings, and I did this in my recent Paddy Pimblett video. I encourage you to go check it out. You look at the UFC top 15. Do you know what Grant Dawson would do to him? Do you know what Renato Moicano would do to him? Do you know what Damir Ismagulov would do to him? Dan Hooker would do to him? Jalen Turner would do to him? It would be career-altering beatings and first-round finishes. Paddy Pimblett sucks. He doesn't even belong in the UFC. Okay? He's young. He can improve. He can't improve enough. He's garbage. The UFC is selling wolf tickets. To quote Nick Diaz, the UFC is selling wolf tickets. They're promoting a quirky guy with a cool accent and a cool haircut, or I don't know if I'd call it cool, but a unique haircut. They are promoting him. They're shoving him down our throats because he has a cool personality. He is basically a straight up UFC bum, okay? I would put Paddy Pimblett, honestly, to compare him to someone who doesn't have the notoriety that Paddy Pimblett has, I would put him on a level as Chris Montino, Mike Jackson. That's what I would. Let me look up UFC World Rankings. MMA World Rankings. I'm sorry. MMA World Rankings. If the website's working, it wasn't working. Is it still not working? I don't think it's working. I used to like this website. I used to have a list of all the fighters. It's not working anymore. I mean, he's not even on the level. He's not even on the level of a Jim Miller. Not even close. I'm trying to think of a fighter. UFC lightweight rankings. Let's see if I can find like a list, like a full list. No, it doesn't work. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is light heavyweight. Unbelievable. Is there a way to look at the rankings, like a full list of fighters? I'm trying to find someone who I would put on a comparable level. I mean, he is not good. The UFC knows he's not good. And they're just selling wolf tickets to a shit fighter that they can throw in a co-main event. Imagine Chris Montino in the co-main event of a UFC pay-per-view. That's what they're giving you with Paddy Pimblett, but they're just giving you with a blonde wig and a cool accent. That's what they're doing. Disturbing. Outright disturbing. They're promoting Paddy Pimblett because they think he's promotable, which he is. People are attracted to him just because of his unique personality and his unique haircut. And he has an exciting fight style because he's a bum that just goes out there and brawls with his chin straight up in the air. They've given favorable matchup after favorable matchup after favorable matchup. No disrespect to Jarrett Gordon. I like Jarrett Gordon. He's been around for a long time. He's the bottom 10% of the UFC skill set. Bottom 10%. He went out there in 30-27, Paddy, and made it look easy. If the bottom 10% is doing that to you, I think Paddy Pimblett's bottom 5% of the UFC. Bottom 5% in terms of skill level. Disturbing. Outright disturbing. And a few years ago, he would have not been even allowed in the UFC. He's straight up garbage. He would get destroyed by everyone. You know, I mean, Paddy Pimblett at this point, I don't think he belongs in the top 40. Bold statement. I don't know what he's currently ranked or what he would be currently ranked. Like, let's look up Tapology. Does Tapology have rankings or no? They do have rankings. Okay. Let's see if I can do custom. I don't know what this rankings means. I want to see top 50 men's. No. I wanted to see if they had like a UFC lightweight. Yeah, I can't find it. So, I don't know. Let's see if I can pull up UFC 282 and see what they have him ranked. Why is this not working? Okay, UFC 282. Do they have a number next to his name? Paddy Pimblett. Where is there a number anywhere? Yeah, I wouldn't even rank him in the top 40. That's all I'm trying to say here. I thought Tapology did some type of rankings, but it's disgusting. The UFC is selling wolf tickets to a garbage fighter, and now everyone, and you know, there's so many media members that are out there saying, well, if you look at it this way, and you start really delving into the scoring criteria, and because the scoring criteria favors damage over grappling and control time, and Paddy had 1 foot stomp in the 3rd round, it's a close round. Therefore, it's not a robbery. It is a brutal fucking robbery. Anyone that says anything else is whitewashing the importance of this situation. Jared Gordon was brutally robbed, and it's offensive. It's offensive to me that these people are trying to say otherwise. Downright delusional. But I don't want to go on for it for too long. I'll read your guys' comments here in a minute. And it's annoying. Okay, where was I at? Somewhere around here. I hear people need at least 5 years of MMA judging experience before they can judge high-level MMA fights, probably. But it doesn't seem like it. I would love to see Wonderboy versus Conor. I got Wonderboy by knockout. I would like to see it too, and I would take Wonderboy by knockout as well. Guys, throw your comments down in the comment, and throw your questions in the chat. I would greatly appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Like the stream. I would greatly appreciate it. Meanwhile, I got to cut off my heat. It's getting hot in my office. It is hot. I got to turn off my heat. I got Nest, so. Yeah, throw your questions in the chat, guys. And like the stream right this very second. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love to see Wonderboy versus Conor. I tweeted that out right after Wonderboy Holland. Marab held Jose against the fence in 1 round. The one last thing I will say, too, imagine had the roles been reversed. Imagine Paddy had put on the winning performance that Jared Gordon did, and Paddy got robbed. John Anik would be screaming from the rooftops. All the media members would be screaming from the rooftops. And then all Paddy Pimblett's simps will be screaming from the rooftops that he was robbed. It is a double standard for superstars, and it is ruining the legitimacy of the sport. Seems like Dana wanted Gordon to get steamrolled, and when he didn't, he had to trash talk. Yeah, I think he was pissed. And you, the host, I'm coming for you because you look like... what the hell are you even talking about, dude? Joe Rogan's reaction should have said it all. Yeah. What's lowered the UFC's barrier entry? I think the number of fight cards they put on. They just need fighters to fill spots. So I think the UFC has made a conscious effort to lower the threshold to get into the UFC, so they have fighters to put on prelims of every weekend cards. And it's really been terrible. He might take a top 15 at best, and that's probably the last 2. No, he's not. There's no way. Guys, keep throwing your questions in the chat. Give me 1 second. Okay, so it only has top. Okay, it does. How'd you find that, dude? Where's is Patty's not on this list then? Patty's number 23 on Tapology. Somebody just sent me it. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. I think Patty loses to Otman Azaitar, who just got KO'd by Matt Frivola. I think Patty loses to Fares DM, who I think somebody speculated. Patty loses to Jamie Malarkey. Patty might be able to beat Inacio Bahamondes, but I doubt it. Patty's fighting to be in the top 50. I mean, that's crazy. MMA World Rankings website isn't working anymore. It's horrible. Dude, stop spamming the chat for real. Okay, now I can try to actually read the chat. Paddy Pimblett, another CM Punk, just a little bit better. Yeah, he's about on the same skill level. UK crowd gullible. They're trying to milk him before he gets exposed. Dude, he's already exposed. Do you think Paddy's top 50? Probably barely top 50. And that's just UFC. If you're counting Bellator and everything, no, he's not top 50. I think he loses to Jim Miller. Agreed. He's number 25, if I remember correctly, which is disturbing. I mean, Ben Askren actually a better fighter than Pimblett, and he actually says everything. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to look at Paddy Pimblett's skill set. Chin up high. Striking is not good. The way he holds his hands in general is just god-awful. I mean, he looks uncoordinated. And people are pretending like he's good. He's not good, guys. I mean, luckily not a lot of people are doing that. But anyone that thinks Paddy Pimblett is a future champion, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that's embarrassing. Paddy shit talking even weak. Strickland set the bar way above that Punk set. Dude, Paddy, the way he's handled the fight afterwards has been the worst I've ever seen. Dude said the fight wasn't close, that he dominated and that he clearly won, and who scored the fight against him, and that he took off the third round because he clearly won the first and third. Literally no fight IQ. Paddy Pimblett has no fight IQ. The striking defense is terrible. He gets out-wrestled. He's not even a good wrestler. He gets out-wrestled by anyone, basically. And actually, I'm kind of excited now because if the UFC gives him a step up, he's going to get destroyed. I don't think they will. I think they're going to baby him with bums for like another 3 years. That's what I think the UFC is going to do. They're going to baby him. They're going to give him winnable matchups for like 2 to 3 more years. And I know people are going to say, how can they do that? They will do that. They will do anything to preserve him. If it was up to me, I'd book Paddy Pimblett, Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney would badly brutalize the baddie. It would be really, really bad. Do you know what Terrence McKinney... Let's do a poll real quick. Who wins? Paddy or Terrence McKinney? I'm just putting their last names. I don't even know if I spelled McKinney right. Let me know. Vote in the poll. Who do you think wins? Paddy Pimblett or Terrence McKinney? I would love to know who you guys think is going to win. I mean, him and Nasrat is close. That's about... Nasrat brutalizes him. I think Nasrat Haparas outboxes Paddy Pimblett and puts him to sleep. Paddy has some of the worst striking defense I've seen. Do you think Paddy ever has any potential? No. Nope. He's not beating Moicano. He's not beating Dan Hooker. No. Paddy ain't even going to break in the top... Paddy ain't going to break into the top 10 unless the UFC gifts it somehow. It's actual garbage. Why doesn't Conor take interviews like only ESPN MMA interviews with Ariel or Brett? Because he's on PEDs and he doesn't care. Dana made a fool of himself. I don't know why he bashed the main event and defended his boyfriend Paddy, upset with Gordon. Dude, why'd he the main event wasn't even that bad. The main event wasn't even that bad. After we get this poll, we're going to briefly touch on most of the fights. We'll recap it for anyone who didn't watch the post-fight show. Just real quick, rapid fire, UFC 282. Let's pull that up. UFC 282, Tabology. Boom. Okay. We're going to get to that in a second. 83% picking McKinney. Anybody picking Paddy's an idiot. How about Paddy versus Puelles? That is maybe winnable. I would still favor Puelles. Paddy has sus cardio too. That is true. That is true. How is Paddy ranked above McKinney? No idea. Paddy even disagreed with Dominic Cruz that it was even close. What a prick. Yeah, Paddy's an idiot. Don't you think Paddy has to bullshit after the fight to hold on to his hype train? No. I think he just makes himself look bad. Lionheart is officially the backup. Okay. No, we don't give a F about that matchup, Paddy McKinney. Lionheart is the backup. I have no idea. That's the first time hearing. Smith is a backup for a title fight. What the F is this division? I don't know. I don't know if that's true. What do you think of CTE? It's unfortunate. Joey was never high on Paddy. Always see why Paddy would never be top 10. Now I see why. Dude, I've been saying it since he came to the UFC. Very competitive main event. Dana's tripping. Yeah, we're going to talk about that here in a second too. Yeah, I thought the main event was pretty intriguing the whole way through. It wasn't amazing, but it was a good fight. Yeah, I thought, okay, they should make Paddy versus Puelles. That's probably the fight to make, honestly. What's up, Joey? What's up? Can Paddy beat Moises? Absolutely not. Moises would destroy him. Moises would destroy him. Okay. 80% says McKinney's going to win. The 20% that says that Paddy's going to win are delusional, in my opinion. But let's quickly recap UFC 282. We're just going to start with the prelims. We're not going to talk about... I guess we'll talk about the early prelims real quick. I'm not talking about TJ Brown, Eric Silva, or Cameron Saman versus Steven Cosglow. It is what it is. Let's start with Billy Quarantillo versus Alexander Hernandez. Hernandez is done for, guys. At one point, he was a prospect. He ended his career talking shit to Donald Cerrone and then getting finished. And that was all the way back in... That was only back in 2019. I mean, he went down to 45. He had a good first round against Billy Q, but his cardio was suspicious. He couldn't take the shots of Billy Quarantillo. Billy Quarantillo finishes him in the second round. Billy Quarantillo takes far too much damage. I think he's going to be one of those guys that, you know, is going to be sticking around in the featherweight division. He's going to be kind of a gatekeeper for the featherweight division, top 15. He's going to be just on the cusp of that top 15, but never fully get there. Chris Curtis, Joaquin Buckley. People were picking Buckley in this fight. I was fairly confident in Chris Curtis. I did say that it would be a competitive fight. I did think that Buckley, you know, throws a lot of combinations, and I thought if Buckley won, he would win with the mirage of punches on the arms. That analysis couldn't have been any better because the first round, I thought Chris Curtis clearly won, but a lot of people were giving it to Buckley because Buckley threw a lot of combinations that just hit on the arms of Chris Curtis. Meanwhile, Curtis was doing effective counterpunching. I want to see Chris Curtis versus Dricus du Plessis. It's an intriguing fight. And I know I've talked about this in the Discord a little bit. I know a lot of people are going to say I'm biased. But I think Chris Curtis absolutely smokes Dricus du Plessis. Absolutely smokes him. He's calling for that fight. Says he wants it as a main event. I would bet on Chris Curtis. I would bet the house on Chris Curtis to beat du Plessis. That would be a horrible stylistic matchup for du Plessis. Du Plessis, this wild, crazy striker who has okay wrestling and grappling. Chris Curtis, what's he good at? He's defensively sound. Great takedown defense. Terrible matchup for du Plessis. That's the fight I want to see next. Chris Curtis brutally KO'd Joaquin Buckley in the second round. Catches a kick, throws a massive left hand, sleeps him like 4 times. Ground and pound. The referee wasn't stepping in. Finally, the ref stepped in. Edmund Shabazian versus Dalcha Luganbula. Luganbula has now officially been removed from the UFC rankings pool, so I believe he's been cut by the UFC. Edmund Shabazian looked okay in this fight, but honestly, I still don't think he looked that good. He gets the finish in the second round, but he looked slow. He looked lethargic. Cardio looked suspicious. He gets it done, but he's supposed to get it done against Dalcha. Supposed to get it done. Next up, Jairzinho Rosenstrike, Chris Daukaus. Daukaus needs to go to 205. Dawkins got brutally KO'd in the first round. Got hurt by a jab from Jairzinho. So, straight up, Dawkins doesn't belong in the UFC. The Dawkins brothers need to disappear. But maybe he gets a shot at 205. But Rosenstrike, time to see Rosenstrike versus Lewis. Moving up, Raul Rosas Jr., Jay Perrin. Raul Rosas looked really good. Jay Perrin is no easy feat. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's the top of the bantamweight division. But Jay Perrin is not an easy fighter to defeat. And he went out there and made it look easy. Dominated him, finished him in the first round. Took him down, submitted him. Moving up to the main card, Ilia Topuria versus Bryce Mitchell. I know Bryce Mitchell's out there whining and crying. I have the flu and Earth is flat and I love NASCAR and RIP Dale Earnhardt and all these excuses. But Ilia Topuria was going to smash him no matter what. People have been sleeping on Ilia Topuria for a long time. I've been talking about it on this channel for a long time. Topuria is an excellent fighter. He has amazing jiu-jitsu. He has amazing grappling. And he's also developed his striking into a serious threat. And he has power in both of his hands. He brutalized Bryce on the feet. And he ragdolled him on the ground. And submitted him in the second round. Topuria needs a massive step up. I want Topuria in a number one contender fight in his next fight. Or very close to a number one contender fight. I want him fighting Arnold Allen. I want him fighting Brian Ortega. I want him fighting maybe Max Holloway. I hate to see Max Holloway kill off a contender. So I don't really want to see the Max Holloway fight. But Brian Ortega or Arnold Allen should be next for Ilia Topuria. He went out there and smashed Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell's the guy that if he can't go out there and take you down, he's never going to be able to be successful. So it's unfortunate for him. But that's pretty much his ceiling. I think he's going to be a top 15 guy for a while. But he would have lost. I think he would have lost to Movsar Evloev as well. Moving up the card, Dricus du Plessis versus Darren Till. This got fight of the night. Dana White went out there and said, I don't see how either guy's stock went down. Darren Till's stock went up in this fight. Both guys, from an analytical point of view, and a skill set point of view, and trying to determine, from a technical standpoint, how good is their skills, both look like dog shit. Du Plessis has some of the worst cardio I've ever seen. Du Plessis has erratic, uncoordinated striking. Darren Till looks like he just hasn't trained. I mean, he can't stuff a takedown to save his life. It's almost like Till, every time Du Plessis got in on even close to a takedown, it's like Darren Till was trying to pull guard. That's how bad his takedown defense looked. And Du Plessis was taking these long, drawn-out shots. They weren't even well-timed or anything. Du Plessis is one of the worst fighters to ever make it in the top 10, in my opinion. He's been finding success, and maybe that bulldozer style will take him far, but it looks garbage to me. Darren Till, I never want to see fight again. Darren Till needs to go down to 170. Darren Till can't... And I swear Darren Till's lying about injuries. After every fight, it seems like he's lying about an injury. Every fight, he has a torn ACL. Every single fight. And he looks like dog shit every single fight. And he pulls out of every fight, too. So how does he still have injuries if he's pulling out of 5 fights before he finally fights? I'm not high on either guy. I don't think either guy should ever be in the top 10. And I really want to see that Dricus du Plessis versus Chris Curtis matchup next. Primarily because I'm a Chris Curtis fan. Moving up the card, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Alex Morono. Santiago Ponzinibbio, the third round TKO. Whew! This was a close fight. Morono almost won this fight. There was an argument to be made that he took the first 2 rounds. He was landing some good leg kicks. He had some good timing. Santiago Ponzinibbio pulls it out in the third round. I think it was a nasty right hand. This fight doesn't do much for me because Morono took it on short notice. I think probably a full camp Morono beats Santiago. Santiago, I think, is on the downhill portion of his career. So, Morono, I think he deserves an opportunity in another big fight. He did everything he could in those first 2 rounds. He was looking pretty good. May have very well been able to win that fight had he not get finished in the third round. I thought it was close. But Santiago pulls it out. I'm looking forward to see who he's fighting next. Moving up the card, Paddy Pimblett, Jared Gordon. We've already talked about it ad nauseum. Neither one of these guys are a top 15. Neither one of these guys are a top 20. Jared Gordon clearly won the fight. Moving up to the main event. Jan Blachowicz versus Magomed Ankalaev, because there's a narrative that's taken hold because of the UFC president Dana White that this fight was garbage, that that basically it was boring and that he was zoning out. And a lot of people take what Dana White says in the post-fight presser and then they apply it to their own feelings because they're a Dana White, simp essentially. And this fight was not boring. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't Yuri Prochazka versus Glover Teixeira. This was a solid fight. We watched momentum swings because Jan Blachowicz was brutally chopping the legs of Magomed Ankalaev, hurting him badly with the leg kicks. It was a very technical fight early. It had a bit of a slow pace, but it was very technical. And then Magomed Ankalaev made adjustments in that 4th and 5th round and ragdolled Jan Blachowicz and almost finished him in the 5th round. This was not the craziest fight I've ever seen. This was not the best fight I've ever seen. But this was a solid fight. It wasn't terrible. I was interested throughout. It wasn't super eventful. But it wasn't like Francis Ngannou, Derek Lewis. And the fact that Dana went out there and just buried it just because it wasn't Glover Teixeira versus, Yuri Prochazka, I thought was, disingenuous. And I think he shit on Magomed and Magomed and Jan for no reason. And I think because he hated the fight so much for whatever reason, he decided that he was going to make Jamahal Hill versus Glover Teixeira, which we'll talk about here in a second as well. Did not think it was a bad fight. I think Jan went out there, put out a good game plan, and I think Magomed adjusted well and should have gotten the decision. I have no problem with the draw, but I think Magomed took rounds 1, 4, and 5. If I do have a complaint, Magomed Ankalaev could have finished Jan in that 5th round, and he could have left as the UFC light heavyweight champ. But instead, he just stopped throwing. He was just throwing elbows. Jan wasn't moving. He was slamming him with elbows. Jan wasn't moving. The ref would start getting a closer look. He'd stop. Magomed's lack of urgency in the 5th round cost him that belt. And that should eat him alive for the rest of his life. Okay. Let's continue moving forward. Let's see what you guys are saying. What's up? Can Paddy beat Moises? Absolutely not. Will McGregor smack Chandler up, brother? I favored McGregor in that fight. Kenny Florian gave a distinct breakdown as why he thinks Paddy won the fight. He's delusional. Bro, I said Paddy would win just to piss you off. Kenny Florian's a moron. Yes, he is. Only do the fight with Playas if they kick the loser from the UFC. Otherwise, give him Moicano an easy fight. I agree. Can you talk about Fight Night? What are you talking about? Love how Dana said he zoned out after the first 3 rounds and was boring, yet first 3 rounds are what is in question. So he has an idea who won. Dude's a tool. Yeah, I don't understand. Why was he in such a bad mood? He said a lot of really off the wall shit on Saturday about Darren Till, about Paddy, about the main event. I don't know if he's using drugs. I don't know if his new Joshua Fabia, health guru is really treating him well or what. But Dana's an actor. He acts like he don't get it, but he really gets it. Okay. Do you think UFC is more of an entertainment or sport? Has it always been that way? I say that because UFC needs fighter that they're pushing. I mean, it's a mix of both. Topuria was good. What was I reading right there? Oh yeah, it's a mix of both. And yes, Topuria was amazing. I figured he'd be good. I thought he'd get a first round TKO. The sport is in its peak right now, but there's the Dagestani wave coming, and eventually as skill increases, we'll have more boring wrestlers. Dude, a lot of the Dagestanis are still exciting. I don't know why people keep pushing that fake narrative. I might have to make a video on that. Till looked bad, 0 takedown defense. Oh my God. I know. I agree. Yeah, I agree. Hernandez fell off since the Cerrone took his soul. Yep. Who you got between Dreykus and Vettori? I think Vettori would win. Could you see Hill having a successful title defense against Yuri when he comes back? Yes. I think Hill has a tougher chance beating Glover than he does Yuri. I would think I think Glover has a better... I'm not saying I ain't picking against him in both fights. I think Glover stylistically is a worse matchup for Jamahal Hill than Yuri Prochazka is. If that makes sense. I could see Jamahal Hill choning them both. Let me just say that. They should have given him the KO to Ankalaev when he was ground and pounding him. He wasn't urgent enough. What do you think about Sergey Morozov? He's all right. He's never going to be top tier, but he's all right. He's fighting this weekend, right? He's going to win this weekend, I think. I would like to see Dana try to stand up and bang after a leg kick by Jan. Yeah, I've watched MMA for 20 years. The Pimblett Gordon decision was up there. I think it's one of the worst in the last 10 years. I've been watching it for 12 years. All this Paddy noise got people forgetting about James Krause. Yeah, I mean, we need to investigate this too. It was Dana's time of the month. Seems like it. What's up, Henry? Sport is past its peak, in my opinion. It has peaks and valleys. It has peaks and valleys, for sure. Nut huggers aren't exciting. Well, that's not all Dagestanis. I hate that narrative. That's not even true. Thoughts on Bryce Mitchell's excuses saying he had the flu kind of lost me as a fan. It's annoying. I hate when people go out and make a million excuses after the fact. It's really annoying. GSP is a better wrestler than Khabib ever was. I don't know about all that. Light heavyweight is the most legendary division. UFC, so many Hall of Famers. This is the first time I've ever seen light heavyweight division. These down, no elite fighters. I wouldn't go that far, but I understand what you're saying. The sport has the most elite fighters ever. It's in its prime as far as we know skill-wise. Yeah. People think anything not standing is boring, bro. Need to go watch boxing. Agreed. Hill versus Glover winner, how they win and what percentage do you give that result? I don't know. I'm back and forth. I don't know I don't know what my prediction for this fight's going to be. I can see Jamahal Hill going out there and brutally KOing Glover Teixeira in the first round. Let me put it this way. I think it ends in the first round. Either Jamahal Hill gets a first round KO or Glover gets him down, beats him up on the ground, and then probably finds a submission. Would be my two predictions. But it could really go either way. Jamahal Hill got out wrestled by Thiago Santos. But Jamahal Hill, if he can keep that distance, he can use that footwork, use them lanky arms. Let me look up the reach disadvantage. Let me look up the reach disadvantage for Glover. 3-inch reach for Jamahal Hill. Whew. We'll see. We'll see. I don't necessarily trust Jamahal Hill's grappling, but Glover's, already been a little bit chinny, and he's coming off a war against Yuri where he lost. I might have to go with Jamahal Hill by first round KO. The young always eats the old. But I'll say Hill, first round KO, 50% chance. Joey, how would you react if Darren Till got let go on his next fight and now Darren signed to WWE? How would you react? I would not react at all. I would hope that would happen. I like a long shot bet on Hill finding his chin in the first minute. Yeah, that might be a good bet to make. Can you make that bet yet? Hill first round KO. If you can get good odds on that, I'd bet it. I think Glover's going to bet Hill. I think Glover's going to beat Hill, then vacate afterwards. We'll see. Burns versus Magny prediction. I don't know. I can't even. As soon as I read Magny, I just think of his terrible hairline. That's all I can think about. But I'm going Burns. I think Burns easily wins that fight. Better striker, better grappler. The Dagestanis have bad stand-up, and the wrestling is somewhat overrated. I mean, you're generalizing, and it's not just flat out not true. Umar Nurmagomedov has amazing striking. Saeed Nurmagomedov has very good striking. So, I don't know. Not going to lie, Hill was looking pudgy January right around the corner, and the MMA gods might punish Dana. Hill might miss weight. Dude looks out of shape. I know he's usually not in the best shape, but looks fatter. I don't know. I have to look into that. I never really paid attention. People want to act like wet blanket wrestling is entertainment. It's not referring to anyone specific. Great grappling wrestling exchanges are always great. Agreed. GSP took down elite wrestlers with ease. Next level stuff. When are we getting your Christmas card where the whole family is in wearing Venom gear? Soon, my friend, soon. I think Demirz Magulov gets the decision this weekend. What do you think? I think Arman wins via decision. But I think that it's a close fight. But I think Arman's just a little bit better everywhere. I have a full breakdown and prediction on the channel. You can check it out. I just released it yesterday. Hold on one second. I think it could go either way, but I think Arman's a little bit better everywhere. I think the jab of Demir is going to be pumping and busting up Arman a little bit, but I think Arman's mix of grappling, but he also has very good body kicks and head kicks. I think Arman's going to go out and get a decision win. Hill will smoke his ass. We'll see. I'm leaning Glover round 2 sub. I think Hill gets taken down round 1 and will be gassed and subbed in round 2. Yup. I think that's very possible. I think it's Glover submission round 1 or Hill first round KO. Joey, my man, Pub Sports Radio was blocking my comments. What were you saying? What were you saying that they were blocking your comments? Ride or die, my friend. Thank you. Glover said that he's not retiring next, even if he wins the belt in Brazil. Okay, fair enough. I hope he doesn't retire, but we'll see. Guys, do me a favor. If you have not yet liked this stream, like this stream. Look, here's what we'll do. I'm going to go for another like 15 minutes or so. We usually do about an hour and a half. If by the time we get to the end of this stream, if we have over 70 likes on this stream, I will come back later for another hour or 2, maybe. I'll come back around like 9, 9:30, maybe 10, and I will do another like hour stream if we get over 70 likes on this stream by the time we end. So if you guys want to see another stream later, like the stream. Also, if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, please. My nose is itching. I'm doing a stream with an itchy nose for you. Okay. Burns got robbed against Hamza. I don't think he got robbed. Hill going to sleep Glover. Hill has precise striking. Yeah, I think it could be very possible. What do you think of this idea, Joey? UFC should have special guests on big pay-per-view fights where the special guest wraps the title to the winner. I mean, it sounds like a cool idea, but it doesn't really affect my excitement level for it at all. Demir is beating Arman because he had an extra sense with that head tweak. We'll see. Glover has better boxing than he gets credit for. That is true. I have a sneaking suspicion that this weekend's co-main is going to have a terrible decision. We could see Bobby Green or Drew Dober. Bobby Green or Drew Dober. I'm leaning Drew Dober, but Bobby Green, I've told you guys many of times. Sometimes he comes out and looks like a world-class fighter. Other times he looks like garbage. I was saying Joey is my favorite YouTuber. Oh, you were saying like MMA Joey is my favorite YouTuber. I appreciate you. I wonder why they blocked your comments. I mean, I guess if you were spamming it, maybe they didn't like it. How many people were watching? But I appreciate the support nonetheless. I'm always curious, I'm always curious. There's a lot of people that see this channel. It's hard to believe how a small channel can be seen by so many people within the MMA community. That actually is mind-blowing to me. So who knows? They might not even know what the channel was for all we know. But maybe they did, and they hate the channel. Okay. Arman lost his last fight by decision, and it wasn't even close, I really think. Arman won his last fight. Arman won his last fight, even though technically he lost by decision. But Arman should have got the decision against Mateusz Gamrot. Mateusz Gamrot. I always say it wrong. I want to say Mateusz, but it's Mateusz. I think Dana would officially lose his mind if Glover retired after winning in Rio. I would laugh my ass off. I think Dana would officially lose his... Okay, read that. Thoughts on Tom Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich. Are you trying to kill Tom Aspinall in his return from his injury? Are you trying to kill him? I want to see Tom Aspinall with a like winnable matchup in his return. Say less, like it up. Yeah, guys, if you weren't here, if we get over 70 likes before we end the stream in about 10 minutes, I will come back later for an hour stream. Fuck it. Use Till while his name is still big. Feed him to Bo Nickel so he can... Oh my God, what Bo Nickel would do to Darren Till. Who's a fighter you'd be interested in watching a documentary about? Probably none, honestly. If Hill wins, maybe Alex goes up to KO him for revenge. That'd be hilarious. Hey, Joey, glad to see you back. I'm happy to be back. I want to see Bobby Green versus Paddy. Bobby Green would destroy him. Bobby Green would flat out destroy him. Joe, you got to start training. Try BJJ. I don't even have the time to run my YouTube channel, let alone to start training. Sorry I'm late, Joey. I checked out the podcast. I love Kenny, but F man, dude is straight tripping. Dude, I don't even like him, but it's crazy to me what the stuff that I heard him say. The stuff that I heard him say was straight up delusional. How do you see a fight between Paddy and Arman playing out? Arman would either brutally KO him on the feet or take him to the ground and absolutely beat the living piss out of him. Maul him. Destruction. It would be the definition of a mauling. It'd be a one-sided, absolute, hellacious, career-altering beating. Arman Sarukian, I forget how you pronounce it, would probably end Paddy's career, to be quite honest. Who wins, Glover versus Smith 2 or Hill versus Smith for the belt if someone would pull out? I think Hill beats Anthony Smith. Glover beats Anthony Smith in a rematch. Glover's just too good with the grappling, would take him down and beat him up. Paddy on steroids still wouldn't be champ, agreed. How do you see a fight? I already read that. No, he really did. LODT. I don't know what you're talking about. Aspinall versus Tuivasa. I like that. I like that idea. Give Tom a winnable matchup. They should scrap Gastelum and Ivanov and do deep DP versus Gastelum and Curtis versus Ivanov. Nah, just keep Gastelum versus Ivanov and do DDP versus Curtis as co-main. Do you think Darren Till should return to 170? I think that's his only option at this point. I don't know. I think Aspinall's wrestling would give Sergey a rough time. Could. Y'all sleep on Glover's chin, dude. Has been KO'd twice since his debut. Not like Rumble. Isn't a top 3. Yeah, but Glover's been rocked so many times. And then he's coming off a war. He's getting older. I think it's time. I think it's time to get chinned. Raul Rosas versus Umar Nurmagomedov. Sign me up, but I think Umar wins that. Raul looked really good, but I haven't seen enough to really, justify a pick over Umar, who has really good striking, really good kicks. If you could have one Christmas gift from the UFC, what fight would it be for you? If I could have one Christmas gift from the UFC, I'll take some Brahma Bull shoes and a Venom fight kit. Nah, I'm kidding. What fight would it be? Francis Ngannou, John Jones. Might be a cold take, but I could really see Sergey becoming a dominant heavyweight champ. Dude, it wouldn't surprise me either. How would McKinney versus Paddy go? Obliteration. He would absolutely pop his head off and throw it into the crowd with an uppercut or something. Only dude Paddy can beat Saturday is probably Tyron Woodley. Dude, he can't even beat Woodley. Dude, if he went and boxed with that YouTube boxer that's been calling him out, Paddy would get chinned badly. Who's Justin Gaethje in every weight class? I don't know, dude. That's a tough question. If Conor beats Chandler at 170, would UFC look to give him a title shot at 155 or 170? Yes, they would. Either one. Probably 170. If Holland still fought at 185, I'd like to see him fight till loser leaves the UFC. Who knows? Holland might go back up and fight Till. I could see that happening. It's crazy to say Tai Tuivasa might be done already, might be on his way to getting cut. Dude, I mean, he got rocked. He almost got finished by Greg Hardy. How can you pick him? I mean, Ty's very tough. He has knockout power, but not looking good for him. Hold on. But yeah, Ty's definitely on his way out. Arman lost his last fight by decision. He's not that good. Dude, he beat Mateus Gamrot and lost by robbery decision. Hold on 1 second. Why do you think Sergey versus Tom is a slaughter? I never said that. I never said that ever. Don't you dare put words in my mouth. And if I did, I misspoke, but I didn't say that. Who wins in a boxing match, Paddy or my blind 4'10" grandma? Your 4'10" grandma. Why? Okay, who would beat Paddy worst, McKinney or Turner? Probably McKinney. McKinney could out wrestle him and pop his head off with a nasty punch. Woodley respect, he brutalizes Paddy. Especially an MMA fight, by the way. MMA fight, Woodley brutalizes Paddy. The YouTube boxer brutalizes Paddy. So, it's going to be... I mean, there's a rough road ahead for Paddy Pimblett regardless. Who would beat... Okay, you still think Till is too small for middleweight? I don't know if he's too small for middleweight. I don't think he trains enough to fight at middleweight. Joey is scared to say that Pub Sports Radio is a communist. Okay. Who would, I mean, if they don't want you spamming, I guess they don't want you spamming. I appreciate the sport regardless. Would you buy a pay-per-view headline by Holland? No. Nope. Woodley lost all respect? Yeah. Silence is violence. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but okay. Demir arguably lost to Guram. Yeah, I think you can make a case Guram 30-27. I'm not making that case, but I think you could make that case. You kind of implied it by saying giving Tom a winnable fight on his return. I just don't want to see him. I didn't want to see him come back and fight Sergey Pavlovich off a knee injury. That's all I was saying. I love that matchup. My nose is itching like crazy. I like that matchup, but I'd like to see Tom come back and get a winnable matchup and then jump in the deep end again. But again, that's not how it works. So sign me up for it regardless. Do you think we're exaggerating a bit on how Paddy is? No, Paddy's terrible. And he's been terrible. I've been saying it for a long while. If you watch this channel, you already know. You already know what I've said about Paddy Pimblett. He's garbage. Been saying it. Jared Gordon enlightened me a little bit to know that he was worse than I thought. What do you think Amir Albazi versus Alessandro Costa? Amir Albazi wins probably by submission. Which current 145er has the best chance at beating Volk? I'll say Topuria. Or maybe Arnold Allen. Which of the guys at 45 could put on a brutal beating on Justin Gaethje? I don't know. I'll say Volk. If someone only good attribute is decent grappling, then they're hot garbage. Agreed. Pub Sports Radio, we want free speech. Yeah. Okay. Is there any lightweight that could beat Colby at welterweight? Probably not. Off the top of my head, probably not. I can't believe I used to think Paddy would be unranked gatekeeper of fighters into the top 15. Now I think he's a trash can. How crazy this sport works. If you've been listening to me, I've been telling you. Jungle. I've been telling you, Paddy is garbage. You have to realize, Jordan Levitt is undersized for the lightweight division. He out-wrestled Paddy. Luigi Vendramini, okay, bottom of the barrel fighter. Almost chin Paddy. Rodrigo Vargas clipped Paddy and took him down for a minute, I think. Or no, after he rocked him. I don't remember. But either way, each person had their moments in the fights. I think Paddy Pimblett is the next version of Sage Northcutt or Paige Van Zandt, where the UFC really gets high on him, tries to build him up, give him every opportunity. They stick around for a couple years. But at some point, they have to cut ties, and they realize, okay, there's nothing we can do here. Big Brady, more like Big Shady. LOL, get him. I don't know what you're even talking about. Got to get those likes up. Yeah, guys, like the stream. Like the stream. We have 88 people in here right now. So 14 more likes, and I'll be streaming for an hour later for you guys. So like the stream. Tony versus Paddy, who wins? Tony demolishes him. Holland versus Nate Diaz, more punches and kicks thrown or more F-bombs and middle fingers. More talking than anything. Topuria is the 145 that beats Volk, maybe. I would love to see that matchup in the future. If he can get one more win, that's the fight I want to see next. Why do you think so highly of Terrence if he got ragdolled by Dober? He didn't get ragdolled by Dober, and he almost finished Dober, but he gassed out. How many fights would Paddy have to lose to get cut? Probably 3 or 4. Against, like, opponents that he's supposed to lose to. Paddy hasn't gotten any better since he debuted in the UFC. Pretty sure he's cutting weight when he should be training. Dude, Paddy's looked the same in every performance. I mean, he's not good. The fundamentals just aren't there. Like, when you watch a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, and there's a lot of hype behind him, you can see some fundamentals. When he's fighting these guys that are basically garbage cans, he's super dominant. The grappling looks good. The fundamental technical ability of his striking looks good. The chin is tucked. Hands are high. He's dominating guys. Good ground and pound. Good jiu-jitsu. Good submission ability. Against guys he's supposed to dominate at that point if he is a high-level fighter. Paddy's fighting those same type of trash can level fighters, and he's having issues. So, yeah. Islam could beat Colby? Yeah, maybe Islam. Has there ever been a fighter ranked outside the top 5 to get a title shot? Yes. I think number 14 at one point got a middleweight title shot. I think Dan Henderson was number 14 at one point and got a middleweight title shot. Is there backlash on Paddy too extreme? I thought he would die out around a few days after the TJ Dillashaw hate died out, but it seems to be getting more extreme. I think it's because people are trying to whitewash it too much. People are trying to whitewash the Paddy Pimblett decision, and they're trying to cover for it. And a lot of MMA media members are doing it. A lot of people who work for the UFC are doing it. And I think the people are revolting, you know, because they see what it is. They see what it is. Everyone knows who watched that fight, who has a sane mind, saw that Jarrett Gordon won. And the fact that we have to debate about it is what's disgusting. So, what do you think about Jared Cannonier versus Sean Strickland? I have a full prediction on the channel, full breakdown and prediction for the main and co-main of UFC Vegas 66. You can find them on the channel. They're the last 2 videos I released. I think Cannonier is just too powerful, too good at leg kicking. I think he wins the fight. 3rd or 4th round TKO. Is Gaethje versus Holloway an all-time great fight contender? I think it'd be fun, but I think Gaethje probably chins him, honestly. Do you think Charles Jourdain has a future in the UFC? Not a bright future, but he's going to be one of those fun fighters that hangs just outside the top 15, around the top 20 for a while, will be my guess. Paddy receives too much promotion for no reason. Legit receives more promo than most champs. Yeah. It's because he's an interesting character and the media gets clicks from clicking on him, from talking about him. Good comparison on the Paddy Sage Northcutt point. Love the show, brother. I'm assuming is what you meant. Thank you, Clint. I'm happy that you're enjoying the show. I do these live streams every single Wednesday. I try to do a couple per week, though. I did one Monday. I'm doing one today. I don't know. I'll definitely do a fight watch along Saturday. I don't know if I'll stream before then, but I may stream later tonight. We'll see. We'll see if we hit the if we hit the 70 likes before I get off of here. I will stream another stream later tonight, about 9 or 10 o'clock for another hour. So if you want that stream later, like this stream right this very second. Get it up to 70 likes. Hamzat is definitely more skilled than Paddy. Paddy might be the least skilled fighter in the UFC. Has pushed right there with Meatball Molly. Agreed. Sage Northcutt looked way better than Paddy his first couple fights. That is true as well. But he was fighting straight garbage cans. You're right. His fundamentals just aren't there, especially with his striking defense. Imagine Terrence McKinney landed a flush hook on his chin. Dude would explode. Paddy leaves his chin so high, if it's inevitable, he's going to get KO'd. Yeah, plus his head movement's garbage. His footwork's garbage. His offensive striking is not really threatening. And his takedown offense isn't very threatening. So you add all that together, you're probably going to get chinned. How about Hamzat versus Islam? Sign me up, but Hamzat's too big for him. I think Hamzat wins. I really hope Volk wins this, though. I doubt he will. T-Rack fought Dober good, but had just a week before, was on short notice and blew his wad trying to KO Dober. Exactly. Thank you. I just want to hear where the bullshit Paddy says after he gets knocked out or finished. He'll make an excuse. Even the Paddy Dick Riders are in the minority about the 282 decision. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone, like at least in my chats, claiming that Paddy Pimblett clearly won. I mean, it was a clear loss. You should make a Dober versus Green prediction video. It's already Wednesday. I like to get them out by Tuesday. I would have liked to make more predictions for this Saturday. Like, let me take a look at the card. I would have liked to make more, but honestly, I was already stressed with what I had to make. I just don't, there's not enough time in the day to make all these predictions and do all these research. I would like to do an Almir Albazi video, prediction video. I'd like to do Dober versus Green. I would like to do Jake Matthews versus Matt Semmelsberger prediction. I would like to do the best fight on the card that I did not do a prediction for is Said Nurmagomedov versus Sedyukab Kakhramonov. That is an amazing fight that should not be on the prelims. And I wanted to do a prediction for that, but I just haven't had a chance. There's not enough time in the day. Charles Jourdain versus Billy Q is the fight we need to see. Sign me up for that one. I like that idea. Do you see Topuria as a future champ? I think he could be. Did you take Bobby Green PD situation seriously when it happened? What's your opinion on it now? I don't know. I never really put too much thought into it, honestly. So I can't really give a definitive answer. No way Paddy can beat Tony. Maybe Puelles, though Tony has too much brain damage. He needs time off. Agreed. Who wins, Paddy or Piotr Jan? Piotr Jan would destroy Paddy, even with a massive weight disadvantage. I think he would destroy him. Green suspension is over. Hamzat versus Delidze. I'll take Hamzat. Who you got between Said Nurmagomedov and Sedyukab Kakhramonov? I'm probably taking Said Nurmagomedov or Said Nurmagomedov, however you pronounce his name. But that's a tough fight to pick. But I'm probably going Nurmagomedov. I'd like to see Max Chandler, to be honest. Wonder how Max would weather the early storm and handle the power. That'd be an interesting fight. What is your MMA conspiracy theory? Mine is Wonderboy is secretly evil. I don't know. I don't really have one off the top of my head. I want to see Max Holloway against Michael Chandler. That would be a great fight. Your channel is great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate the support. Do you think Khamzat beats any of the top 5 light heavyweights? No. They should promote Arman the way they do Paddy. He's younger and he kept up with Islam on the ground. Agreed. If he were to bulk, of course. Okay. What do you think is next for Khamzat? I think we need to do Khamzat versus Colby Covington. Khamzat versus Colby Covington is the fight to make. Paddy looked like a Pike robot. Eyes look dead. I don't know what that means, but all right. I think Dober versus Green may be the fight I'm looking forward to most on the card. The fight I'm most looking forward to is the Demir Ismagulov Arman Tsarukyan. I think that's the best fight on the card, to be quite honest. Khamzat beats everyone at welterweight and middleweight outside of nickel. I'm not even picking nickel, just don't know who would win. Okay, I think that's a bit of a bold statement. I don't think he beats Adesanya. He may not even beat Pereira, but I would favor him to beat Pereira. Thoughts on Kevin Holland saying he was serious in his retirement? He's full of shit. Who would win, O'Malley versus Paddy with a huge weight difference still in play? O'Malley would chin him probably. Who do you think would win between Gastelum and Amaivov? I'm probably going Gastelum, but Amaivov is very good. I've had my eye on him for a long time. I have to dig deeper into that fight. I may pick Amaivov. My question got skipped. Paddy or Prime BJ Penn? Prime BJ Penn. Easy win. What's going on? What's up, Fast? Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being a member. Thank you. I appreciate your support. If anybody else wants to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. We have a Discord, a members Discord, where we discuss MMA 24 hours a day. You can message me 24/7, request videos, request live streams, know when I'm doing live streams. You also get a badge next to your name, custom emojis, a bunch of behind the scenes stuff. And it's $3. And you get extra live streams. Link is in the description if you want to become a member of the channel. Do you think Paddy should be mad at the judges instead of Paddy? I think people should be mad at both. Paddy's delusional for the way he acted after the fact, and the judges are horrendous decisions. Nickel hasn't showed he can take down anyone with good takedown defense. Y'all seem too many people undebeatable. Yeah, the whole Nickel thing is way too much hype. Did you see Arman had to say about Dustin, Justin, and Chandler? I did not. Fill me in, Will. Do you think Strickland has high fight IQ? No. No, I don't think he has high fight IQ. I think he wants to go out there and strike no matter what. That's what I think. Disrespectful to put Prime BJ in the same sentence with Paddy. Agreed. Does Paddy believe he could beat anyone in the top 15? No. I think he knows. You also get cool emojis. Yes, you do. MMA Christmas gift ideas. Get him the Rocks UFC official shoes. Get him some Venom gear. If Arman wins this, give him Chandler. He belongs in a big fight next if he wins this one, in my opinion. He took a step back with Demir in the rankings. I think if he wins this, give him Chandler, give him Beneil, give him Gaethje even. Give him a big fight. He deserves a big fight. I thought he beat Matauj, so. He beat Adesanya in the first, similar to Holland. No. Holland is a better grappler. No. Did you get mad at the way Joe was going off? Yes, it was super annoying. It was super annoying, especially when you had a terrible decision in the fight before that you didn't harp about. The only way Pereira loses is by out-wrestled. Agreed. He said they should all retire because they only want to fight each other. I agree with him then. My nose is itching like crazy. I agree 100%. Who was the lowest fight IQ in the UFC? I don't know. Paddy Pimblett's definitely up there. I don't know who else. I want to become a member. Well, the link is in the description, my friend. It says become a... Here, I'll post it in the chat. If anybody wants to become a member, I'm about to get off of here. So if anyone wants to become a member, we discuss MMA 24/7. Just leave me a comment for the Discord link because I had to take the Discord link off there. It expired, but I will post it. But if you want to become a member, there is the link to become a member of the channel. If Paddy trains more, can he break into the... No. Nope, he's not ever breaking into the top 15 ever, unless the UFC somehow worms his way into there. by the most Super Bowl favorable matchups and terrible rankings guys. What do you think will happen with Adesanya loses in the rematch to Pereira? I don't know. Adesanya is going to be in a tough spot. He's going to have to wait for someone to beat Pereira and then move on, basically from there. And hope someone beats Pereira and out wrestles him. Who would win, Paddy or Askren? Askren would dominate him even with 2 broken hips coming off a KO to a YouTube boxer. What's next for Fiziev? Justin Gaethje should be the fight. Justin Gaethje should be the fight, to be quite honest. But it doesn't seem like Gaethje wants that. Dominant wrestling is the equalizer. Add good grappling and some KO power. Okay. I agree. Izzy has elite takedown defense and potentially stuffs takedowns and picks Khamzat apart badly, and I favor Whitaker as well. And people say Khamzat is big, but Marvin, Paulo are a lot bigger and potentially be problems. Agreed. I think all of them are tough matchups for Khamzat. Being an MMA Joey member is one of the best decisions I've ever made. The Discord is so fun. Appreciate you, Jungle Mania. I try to tell everyone on here, the Discord is worth becoming a member alone. Are we not on there talking MMA 24/7? We're always talking about all the latest breaking news. I'm in there as much as I physically can, talking to you guys, letting you guys know what I'm working on, let you guys know behind the scenes stuff. So the Discord's definitely well worth it. We have a great community of like 50, 60 people in the Discord. I think probably about 20 to 30 are pretty active in there. But yeah, the Discord's great for members. The worst thing that can happen if Usman comes back hungry, because I think he's the best welterweight. Yeah. So shake up the lightweight division. They should do Dariush, Poirier, Gamrot, Gaethje, Fiziev, Oliveira. I want to see Fiziev versus Gaethje. And do Gamrot versus Oliveira maybe, or Chan. I don't know. You can mix all those up. They're all good fights though. Khamzat is way better than Vettori, and Vettori doesn't even grapple like that. Yeah, but Vittori's big and would be able to defend the takedowns, in my humble opinion. Do you think the winner of Armin versus Demir should fight Fiziev next? Now, I think the winner of Armin Demir should be able to fight like Dariush or something. I know Dariush is kind of in line for a title, but I want to see him get a big fight. And Gamrot already fought Armin, and he's coming off a loss. You could do the winner versus Jalen Turner, but that's everyone still kind of staying back of the pack. So Khamzat is okay. Read that. Do you think already read that the Discord's goated? Didn't Sarukian almost beat Islam? It didn't almost beat him, but it was very competitive. I want to join the Discord. Well, you got to become a member. The link is in the description. It costs $3 whole to become a member. $3 whole. Did you see Schaub's podcast? Because he was trying to blame the judges more than Paddy. I don't know if I agree with him or not. I mean, the judges are definitely to blame, but Paddy has looked like an absolute idiot in the aftermath of the fight. It's actually embarrassing. It's actually been very embarrassing. So the way he's acted, like it wasn't even close. I clearly won, and I coasted in round 3. I think people hate Khamzat because of the weight cut thing, and UFC gave him dark money to miss because they wanted to headline Ferg Diaz, but couldn't justify this, so was the plan. I don't believe in that conspiracy theory, but okay. Are you a believer in Bitcoin? I'm not a big... I feel like most people who are into NFTs and are into crypto are mostly like scam artists half the time. I own some Bitcoin. I think that's probably the only one that has a legitimate future. So, it's one of those things. It's one of those things. Okay. Ooh. By the way, guys, if you don't already, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram at MMA Joey C. At MMA Joey C. What are you more mad at if you had to say Paddy acted after the fight or judges giving him the egregious decision? Honestly, both are equally annoying, but the judges are most at fault. The judges are most at fault. Appreciate you, Jungle Mania. Brendan Schaub's opinions don't matter. Couldn't have said it more. Glover subs Hill. I think it's either Glover by submission or Hill by KO. Next time I get some money, I'm going to become a member. I'm very poor. Don't worry about it. If you can't afford it, it doesn't matter. I appreciate you coming to the live streams. I appreciate you watching the videos. If you want to help me, watch all the videos. Watch them all the way to the end. Comment on every video. Like every video. All free ways to support the channel. The membership is just an extra way to show support. But if you don't have it, it's unnecessary, okay? Just an extra way to show support. I appreciate you guys. Nonetheless. Dricus Du Plessis, most underrated fighter in middleweight. Such an awkward style. Dude, I think he's so bad, to be honest. Joe, you got a Viking beard. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Best beard on MMA YouTube right here. Look at that. And it's not even trimmed up right now. It actually looks terrible. That's the best beard on MMA YouTube. I'll tell you that much. You won't find a better beard on MMA YouTube. By ICP integrated. I can't even look into that right now. That's hurting my head even reading it. Did you see they were investigating that one judge? Yes. Thank God. Hopefully they do something. I do watch all your videos. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you. Great channel support. And I like how you try to get to everyone's comments. Yeah, I try to respond. Sometimes I just can't. Sometimes I just can't. But I try to. Joey, is there any way to see how many hours I have watched on your channel? I don't believe so. I would like to know that as well, but I don't know. But thank you, Scottle B. Thank you for watching the channel. I wish you took food stamps, okay? Brendan Schaub seems like the type of guy who confuses rare with well. Dude, Brendan Schaub has so much CTE. It's not even funny at this point. Dude's always talking shit about somebody too. So I'm just going to leave the guy alone. He's already had enough. Joey Beard, elite of the elite. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Yeah. And this isn't even trimmed up. This isn't even trimmed up, guys. If I shave off my beard completely off, this is it back in like 2 weeks. So it gets pretty crazy. So that's why, you know what's I've told you guys this on multiple live streams. I used to cut off my beard a couple times a year, just completely cut it off. But it kind of became my trademark now. Like if I came on here with no beard, you guys wouldn't even recognize me. Imagine if I started a video with no beard. Imagine all the comments I would get. Du Plessis won't beat Vittori or anyone else. Agreed. I'm 24 and can't grow a beard. That's unfortunate. I can't even grow a beard, just a mustache. I'm only 16. Makes sense. If Dricus becomes champion, will your opinion change on it? I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But probably if he became champion, it would have to change because he'd be showing better skills than he's showing now. Appreciate you. You would need a new logo if you shaved. That is true. If you went live and I clicked on your stream and you had no beard, I think I'll faint. Think about it. You guys have never seen me without a beard. That's crazy. If you got on with no beard, you'd be MMA Joseph. Fair enough. Fair enough. Strickland pieces up. Du Plessis, agreed. Big Joey should use beard oil. Helps keep the beard smooth and shiny. I've tried a little bit here and there. I think I have some, but I don't use it super often. This thing just comes flowing in. Just growing like crazy. So, it's crazy. But we recapped UFC 282. We talked about Paddy Pimblett, Jarrett Gordon decision. We talked about Glover Teixeira versus Jamahal Hill. We talked about everything. One other thing I did want to mention before I get off. We went an hour and 40. We went an hour and 40 today. Conor McGregor is finally removed from the lightweight rankings. About damn time. 2016. November 2016 was the last time Conor McGregor had a lightweight win. 6 fucking years ago. And he's still in the rankings? Egregious. Disgusting. I mean, the fact that he's sat in the rankings this long is egregious, disturbing. There is some UFC fans that were swimming around in their dad's nutsack last time Conor McGregor had a lightweight win. Okay? That's how long it's been. How is he still in the rankings? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Thank God he's finally replaced by Grant Dawson, which I think is hilarious. Ha, 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 ha. Grant Dawson replacing Conor McGregor, but heed this warning. When Conor McGregor returns, they will throw him back in the rankings. And I don't understand. He's not even in the USADA pool. Why is he still in the rankings? He's not even in the USADA pool. So it made no sense. It made absolutely no sense. Okay. How do I grow a full beard? I think you got to buy Venom gear. Are you a betting man? Not really. Not really, but I've recently started making some bets because mobile betting got legalized here. I bet $75 on Chris Curtis by second round KO at UFC 282, and he made me a bundle and a half. But not typically. I've been using up all the free money they give you, all the free incentives, and then after that, I'll make a couple small parlays here and there, but not really. Joey, I've been commenting on every MMA Joey post until he follows me back on Instagram. I saw that. I didn't even pay it no mind, but I did look, and you don't post on Instagram, so why you want me to follow you on Instagram? Does a beard in MMA because it gets you punched like a cushion? I don't know. I'm not the guy. Would you consider getting a handlebar mustache? Yes. Love the beard, the upper part. Let that upper part fill in. He'll grow it out. I keep mine around 2 inches. What? Oh, like up here, you're saying? There's some videos where I have a bigger beard. I've thought about growing it out, but it gets too itchy. I'm a red-bearded Mexican. Okay. Masvidal getting a title shot? No, that's not happening. Dana White privilege for Conor, no doubt. Agreed. McGregor versus Diaz should happen. I think it's a winnable fight for both of them. Agreed. I am looking forward to Drakus fighting the top 10. Yeah, I think he'll get brutally KO'd by a lot. I don't think he beats anyone in the top 10. So we'll see. Remind me. Usman apparently, that's fake news, Jackson. Stop regurgitating fake news. Usman has bad knees. Okay, Bilal deserves a title shot. Maybe. If Curtis wins one more fight, they should give him Strickland. That'd be interesting because they're good friends. How much do betting apps take from your winnings? None. Joey, I post every day. I think you looked at my pin post from June. Also, there was a side note where I wanted to see how long would you actually comment for. So we're going to have to see how long you're willing to comment for to get the follow back now. I want to see how long you said I'm commenting on every post till I get followed back. I want to see how long you're doing it for. So keep it up. We'll see. Maybe in like a month. We'll see. Usman has a knee injury. No. That's not true. That's not confirmed. That's not by any reliable source. It's not being reported by any reliable source, Jackson. So cut it out with the fake news. Cut it out with the fake news. We don't need it. We don't need it. Okay, last few questions. If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you haven't already, do me a favor and like the stream. Subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed already, turn on notifications if you don't already have them turned on. If you bet through one of those apps, does it get reported to the IRS? Yes, it does. You have to put on like your social security number and stuff. Drakus is one of the worst top 10 middleweights of all time. Agreed 100%, Jungle Mania. Where's Pedro Munoz? Do you think O'Malley retired him? Sure. Do you think Curtis would fight him even though they're friends? I asked him that in an interview I did with him. I'm going to talk to him soon, probably this week. But yes, he would. I saw Excellence MMA posted, though. I don't care what you saw. I'm telling you the facts. Okay? Did you see Usman? No, that's not true. That is not true. That is not true. There is no legitimate source posting that. Until there's a legitimate source posting it. Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look if there's any legitimate source. Nope. Nothing. Nothing. There's no legitimate source right now that's posting that. Keyword, legitimate source. Legitimate source. Not these bullshit, fake-ass Twitter, Instagram accounts. Joey, what's your second favorite fight on this weekend's card? I don't know. First is Demir versus Arman. Second is probably the main event. So you got all the money from the Curtis fight? Yeah, so I deposited $10 into my DraftKings account. Or not my DraftKings account. I don't know why I said DraftKings. Into my FanDuel account right now. Because I've made a couple bets. I made a couple bets on the Wonderboy Thompson card. I won all three of my bets on that card. I've deposited $10. And my total playable balance right now is $922.53. That's my total playable balance right now. That's all winnings. That's all winnings. All right, guys, last few questions, then I'm getting out of here. Do you like golf? No, but I like disc golf. Joey, do you smoke the devil's lettuce? Absolutely not. Do you watch UFC events on TV or a laptop? I like to watch them on my TV, but I watch them on my monitor when I do streams. Masvidal's not getting a title shot. That's horseshit. If Dreykus was that bad, he would not have such a good record. He's horseshit. Why is Shamil Abdurakhimov still ranked? Dude is a bum. Heavyweight division sucks. Ass. Usman needs to make a debunking video. He doesn't need to because no legitimate sources are reporting it. If Masvidal gets a title shot, I'm going to lose it. Agreed, but he's not going to. All right, guys, do me a favor. Don't forget to like the stream. I might do a stream later because we did get over the 70 likes, but I end up staying for an extra like 30 minutes anyway. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you guys. Go watch my prediction videos for UFC Vegas 66. Go watch my Paddy Pimblett robbery video. Go watch every video on the channel. UFC 283, Jamahal Hill, Glover Teixeira. Thank you guys for watching. I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your night. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Good night.